Hi, it's Katie, CA Technologies.
Okay, this is Jay. I just received the help audit you sent me as part of the initial steps of our NFL engagement. Do you have a little bit of time to walk me through some of the recommendations you made? You've outlined?
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to. I'm going to put you on speaker here real quick. And then why don't we get into a live meeting? I'll go ahead and just share the document, and then we can look at the system together. I'll send you that live meeting link here right now.
Okay, great.
And then just kind of while we're waiting for that to come up, I've got the live meeting here. Just for give you a little rundown on refresher on why we do this. As you know, for every MSO customer, we start by doing an audit of their current system configurations. And this is basically to make sure that the products are operating efficiently and there's nothing misconfigured. When I started the health audit, I noticed that you were a version behind in all your products. So per that change window that we talked about a week and a half ago or so, I performed the upgrades before doing the health audit. So I'm pulling up the script here. I see that you're in the meeting now. And let's take a look at that. So here's the health audit. Was there any specific section that you wanted to talk about?
How about we start with the grouping section under NPC? I think it's on page 3.
Okay.
Our grouping structure is a little bit out of sorts currently, and so I was hoping you could help me walk through some of the recommendations you have for reorganizing our groups.
Sure. Our best practice is basically to have your groups divided for different purposes. So right now you've got all your groups listed at one level, like your Cleveland Data Center, your East Coast region, IPSLA, sort of on down the line you can see there. My recommendation is basically to create parent groups, like regional groups and reporting groups, and then put subgroups beneath those groups. So beneath regional groups, you might put, your Midwest, South, East Coast. Let me scroll down. I can show you here. Regional groups, East Coast, Midwest, Southern regions, all under there. And then for your reporting groups, you might actually put in things like your WAN links or, Joe's test group. Anything that you want to filter or report on should go under those reporting groups.
Okay. I'm a little worried, though, about causing problems for reports I've already created. So if there's a group that I've already created into a parent group, but I have that group set as a report page context, will that mess up my current page?
That's actually a really good question, one that we get from a lot of our customers. No, the report page will automatically update to the new group structure and maintain that context. So no problems there, won't mess anything up.
Wonderful. Is that something you can work on this week, like cleaning up the group structure as you outlined here?
Yeah, no problem. Let me check my calendar, but I've got some time tomorrow morning, and I'll just plan on working on it then.
Okay. Moving on, how about we skip down to the RA section, page 14?
Okay.
And talk about the interface part. I've got a couple questions there, especially if we're getting close to our license limit.
Okay.
First off, you said we have 10 devices showing up in RA that don't have any enabled interfaces.
Right.
I think 6 or 7 of those devices are no longer in production. A couple of them are in production, but we don't have interest in monitoring. So how do we permanently remove those?
I'll go in and delete out the devices that aren't in production anymore. That'll help clean up the GUI for you. There's really no point in having old devices visible in the product. As for the devices that you're receiving data from, but you don't want to monitor anymore, you'll need to have somebody in your network team go into the device configuration itself and stop it from sending NetFlow data to the harvester. If we delete it out and then the device continues to send NetFlow data, then it'll, to the harvester, then it'll just reappear again.
Okay, that's good to know. I knew that there was some kind of strange thing regarding the net flow and how we had to turn it on.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and put that on one of my action items this week. Okay, if we can circle back on this during our next weekly call. I just don't want to forget about it and leave those things on there.
Absolutely. I'll make it an action item and then just add it to the agenda for next week so we don't forget about it.
Okay, great. The last question I had was about the interfaces that are enabled but not reporting data.
Okay.
We've been great about keeping the product configuration up to date, so that's one of the reasons we decided to go with haven't kept it up to date. So that's why you kind of went with your service. So we wanted you to help us out with doing a little better job of managing the licensing so we can get the most out of our investment.
Okay.
We purchased, I think, around 500 licenses, but right now we're at 47 and we have about 3 dozen new interfaces we want to monitor.
Okay.
So I know that some of the interface licenses we're using are no longer important to us, but no one's going back through and removing old devices or interfaces.
Yeah, that's actually one of the most common reasons that customers decide to hire us. Their current network teams are already pretty busy and they want somebody dedicated to helping them maintain the product who really understands it from the database up. So kind of to that point, I did run a query on the reporter database. You can kind of see it here in the health audit report. Basically, the query that I ran looks at the database and it's going to pull, all of the interfaces that are enabled, but we haven't received any data from in the last 24 hours. Do you want me to go ahead and delete out all these interfaces, the 89 interfaces that are there? Or I guess an alternative option, I could actually just, print those to a text file and send those to you. I kind of give you the option because I know that last week you mentioned that you were having some problems, internal firewall issues between your main data center and one of your remote sites. So I just hate to delete out a device that you did want to monitor, but you hadn't been reporting anything on just because there was a firewall issue.
Okay, that's a great point. Why don't you go ahead and send over the list when you have a second? I'll have my network team review it to make sure we don't delete out any interfaces that we still want to monitor.
Okay, yeah, I can certainly do that. I'll take care of that right now, actually, so you'll just have that list immediately. And then if your team is able to give me feedback by tomorrow, I can remove those unused licenses when I'm on the system cleaning up the groups like we talked about earlier.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks so much for taking the time to review the report with me. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk, I guess, next week.
All right, sounds great. Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, have a great one.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.